All right. So, so we are live right now. Am I audible to all of you? Okay, great. So, welcome back. Welcome again to this amazing platform of TUT Learning. And we were discussing on three-dimensional geometry. So, in this particular chapter of three-dimensional geometry, we saw in the previous discussion. So, first of all, a very important announcement to all of you is that we are definitely going to launch a revision series starting from the end of November. Okay. Now that particular revision series is going to be like the one shot lecture series that will be put up live on this particular platform. Okay. And that particular series, in that every day we'll take up a specific chapter of mathematics and we'll discuss all sort of questions and concepts that can be asked from that particular topic, right? So please don't forget to join us on those particular live lectures of one shot revision series for JEE Mains first attempt. Okay, so if you're new to this particular platform, I would request you to please like, share and subscribe, and also share these videos with your friends as well. सर प्लीज 11th मैथ्स, देखो 11th का मैथ मैं डेफिनेटली पिकअप करने वाला हूँ, राइट? सबसे पहले अभी जो यहाँ पे चैप्टर्स पढ़ाया जा रहा है, राइट, दैट दोस चैप्टर्स आर वो चैप्टर्स है कि जो जेई मेंस में पूछने का जो टेंडेंसी है या फिर प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग दोस क्वेश्चंस इन जेई मेंस वो ज्यादा है, ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले मैं अभी सबसे हाई प्रायोरिटी वाला जो चैप्टर्स है उनको मैं सबसे पहले ले रहा हूँ, राइट? तो तुम्हें पता होगा कि मैंने ऑलरेडी कैलकुलस वाला पोर्शन खत्म कर दिया है, राइट? उसके साथ साथ मैं 3D ज्योमेट्री और वेक्टर अलजेब्रा करा रहा हूँ, जो बेसिकली जो आने वाला जेई मेंस पेपर है, राइट, उनके लिए काफी बेनिफिशियल होने वाला है, राइट? सो अगर आप क्लास 11 से हो, अगर अभी जस्ट अभी प्रिपरेशन चालू किया है, तो डोंट वरी, आपके लिए भी 11th का कंटेंट डेफिनेटली आने वाला है। एंड प्लीज फॉर दैट प्लीज वेट, ओके? एंड ऑल्सो सब्सक्राइब द चैनल, ओके? इज दिस क्लियर? भावेश, इज दिस क्लियर? I hope I'm able to answer your question, right? Okay, so let us start with today's discussion on planes. So that is all for the announcement, and we are definitely going to start today with our topics on discussion on planes, right? So if you haven't watched the previous lectures, so please go back to the channel and please watch the previous topics, okay? So without even covering the previous topics of straight lines on 3D basics or vector algebra, you can't directly sit in this particular lectures, okay? सर मैथ्स मेंस में मैथ्स स्किप करूँ तो कैसा रहेगा इफ आई एम स्कोरिंग 120 विद फिजिक्स? देखो, अगर इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू क्लियर द कट ऑफ, ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर मैथ्स आप पूरा स्किप कर देते हो ना, तो आपका क्या होता है कि कंबाइंड जो परसेंटाइल बनता है, राइट, जो कंबाइंड परसेंटाइल बन रहा है वो आपका काफी कम हो जाएगा, राइट? और मैं कभी ये सजेस्ट नहीं करूंगा कि ये दैट इज स्कोरिंग 120 मार्क्स जस्ट ऑन बेसिस ऑफ फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री एंड यू आर गोइंग टू थिंक दैट यू विल बी गेटिंग अ गुड रैंक। ये कभी मैं सजेस्ट नहीं करूंगा, ठीक है? तो ऐसा मत करो। जो मैथ्स का जो बेसिक टॉपिक्स है और जो हाई प्रायोरिटी टॉपिक है, जैसे वेक्टर अलजेब्रा हो गया, 3D ज्योमेट्री हो गया, जैसे मैट्रिक्स एंड डिटरमिनेंट हो गया, इन सब चैप्टर्स को पढ़ने के लिए उतना ज्यादा एफर्ट नहीं लगता है, राइट? तो इन चैप्टर्स को पहले ढंग से पढ़ लो, राइट? तो मेरा सजेशन ये रहेगा कि जो मैथ्स का बेसिक चैप्टर्स है और जो हाई प्रायोरिटी चैप्टर्स है जिनको पढ़ने में ज्यादा टाइम भी नहीं लगेगा और जो काफी आसान है, उन चैप्टर्स को तो एटलीस्ट पढ़ लो, ठीक है? इज दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट क्लियर? Okay, so let's now discuss or start to discuss about today's topic of planes, right? So previously, what we have saw is that we have seen that the general equation of plane. So in order to write the general equation of plane, we need a particular point on this plane, and also we need a perpendicular vector, right? And then the equation of plane can be written as r dot d vector or r dot n vector, which denotes the normal vector, is equals to some constant d. सर मेंस में बट सर आप तो 12th का ही पढ़ा रहे हो, बट मैंने ट्यूटी पर केमिस्ट्री और फिजिक्स की क्लासेस कर रहा हूँ और केमिस्ट्री की सर यूट्यूब पर भी करा रहे हैं। सी देखो, मेरा लिमिटेशन ये है कि केमिस्ट्री के लिए तुम देख पा रहे हो, राइट? वहाँ पे केमिस्ट्री के लिए 2 टीचर्स है, राइट? एक टीचर 11 वाला करा रहा है, एक टीचर 12 वाला करा रहा है। तो मैथ्स के लिए मैं अकेला ट्यूटर हूँ, राइट? सो मेरा भी एक लिमिटेशन है कि मैं भी इतना ही करा सकता हूँ, राइट? सो अब तुम देख रहे हो कि हर दिन इस चैनल पे 2 लेक्चर्स आ रहे हैं मैथ्स के, राइट? सो इससे समझ सकते हो कि मैं अपना बेस्ट दे रहा हूँ ताकि तुम्हारा कॉन्सेप्ट जल्दी जल्दी कवर कर सकते हो, राइट। बट बात ये है कि ट्वेल्थ का वाला जो पोर्शन है, ट्वेल्थ वाला जो पोर्शन है वो काफी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। तो इन सब चैप्टर्स को तो एटलीस्ट पढ़ लो, ठीक है। 11th तो हो ही जाएगा, 11th हो ही जाएगा, टेंशन मत लो। क्या ये क्लियर है भवेश? 11th हो जाएगा। ओके, सो अभी इस पे फोकस करते हैं। सो व्हाट वी हैव सीन दैट द जनरल इक्वेशन दैट द general equation of plane can be written in this particular format, right? Where d is a constant and d is obtained as r dot, n dot this p vector, okay, n dot this p vector, which is a constant value, right? Because I know both my normal vector and my position vector of this particular point. Now with this particular formulation, we saw in the previous discussion that we can easily use this discussion to write the equation of the plane. 11th का भी बहुत बैकलॉग है मैथ्स में, इसलिए सर हेल्प चाहिए। देखो, बाकी सब प्लेटफॉर्म मुझे पता नहीं कैसे पढ़ाते हैं, ठीक है। बट इस प्लेटफॉर्म में अगर तुम्हें देखो, तुम्हारा अगर 11th का बैकलॉग है, मैं एक चीज सजेस्ट कर सकता हूँ सबको, ठीक है, जिनका भी 11th का बैकलॉग है, राइट। एक छोटा सा डिस्कशन है, जिनका 11th का बैकलॉग है, राइट, उसके लिए हम लोग ने ऑलरेडी बैकलॉग क्लियरिंग क्लासेस बनाया है, राइट। सो आप बैकलॉग क्लियरिंग क्लासेस के लिए क्यों नहीं इनरोल करते हो, ठीक है। आप बैकलॉग क्लियरिंग क्लासेस के लिए इनरोल कर लो, ठीक है। जो बैकलॉग क्लियरिंग क्लासेस है उनके लिए एनरोल कर लो, और एक हफ्ते में आप जो चैप्टर्स है उनको आप एक हफ्ते के अंदर खत्म कर सकते हो, ठीक है। तो जो बैकलॉग क्लियरिंग क्लासेस है उसको ज्वाइन कर लो, और प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट अस कि आपको अगर बैच का मतलब कैसे ज्वाइन करना है, इसके कॉन्टेक्ट डिटेल्स चाहिए तो ये है मेरा नंबर, ओके। सो इस नंबर पे कॉन्टेक्ट करो, ठीक है। जो भी चैप्टर्स में डाउट है वो मुझे बताओ एंड आई विल कवर दैट पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर फॉर यू, ठीक है। मैं आपको वन ऑन वन क्लासेस लेकर इसको समझा दूंगा, ठीक है। तो प्लीज एक बार इस नंबर पे कॉन्टेक्ट तो करो, ठीक है। Okay, so this is something apart from this question. Okay, so I got a question in the live chat. So how to clear the backlogs of class 11? So backlog के लिए we have already started our backlog clearing sessions. Okay, so please contact us on this number and join for the backlog clearing sessions. Okay. Anyways, so let's now come back to our topic. So this is what we have seen in our previous discussion, right? So in today's discussion, we are going to look into another formulation of equation of plane. So let us say I have this as a plane, but now instead of giving you the normal vector, I'm giving you, let us say I'm giving you certain points on this line, on this plane. Let us say I give you 3 points on this plane. Let us say this is A, let us say this is B, let us say this is C. Now सीक्वेंसिंग सीरीज के बाद बैकलॉग है। देखो, सीक्वेंसिंग सीरीज के बाद अगर जो भी बैकलॉग्स है, अभी डोंट वरी, ओके। अभी जो चैप्टर चल रहा है उसको पहले खत्म कर लो, ठीक है। मैंने ऑलरेडी तुम्हें यहाँ पे नंबर दे दिया है, राइट। इस नंबर को एक बार लिख लो, नोट डाउन कर लो, इस नंबर पे कांटेक्ट करो, आई विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू आउट, ओके। बाकी केमिस्ट्री और फिजिक्स का ट्यूटी पे सब्सक्रिप्शन है, वो बढ़िया चल रहा है। हाँ, ओके फाइन, ठीक है। बट इसका एक बार इस पे बात कर लो, ठीक है। मैं मैथ्स के लिए तुम्हें पर्सनल क्लासेस देकर तुम्हें क्लियर करा दूंगा, ठीक है। सो प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट ऑन दिस नंबर, ठीक है। सो जो भी बैकलॉग्स है मैं डेफिनेटली वन ऑन वन क्लासेस लेके मैं समझा दूंगा, ठीक है। इज दिस क्लियर? Okay, so we have these particular points. Let us say my points are given as x1, y1, z1, where my point B is given as x2, y2, z2, and my point C is given as x3, y3, and z3. Okay. So once I have these particular points, now based on these 3 points lying on the same plane, I can formulate the equation of plane by finding out. So I already know one point of the plane. The only thing I don't know is to find out a normal vector that is normal to this plane. Now in order to find the normal vector to this particular plane, I'm going to use the concept of cross product. So for that I need to form two vectors, right? So let us say I use this A point, AB and AC point to produce two vectors such that AC vector and AB vector. So let us say I produce these two vectors. Now if I produce the cross product of these two vector, I will easily obtain my result for the normal vector. Is this part clear? So once I have this normal vector with us, now we can easily write the equation of the plane. Now we can easily write the equation of the plane as follows, which is basically again r vector dot n vector is equal to some constant, right? So is equal to some constant, and you can take any point lying on the plane as the given point. Is this part clear? So this is another formulation of plane equation where instead of giving you the perpendicular vector to the plane, I am giving you the 3 points, right? And based on that, we have seen how to find out the equation of the plane. Now this same formulation can be done in terms of a determinant relation which can be given out. So if you try to do that, let us say, and if you consider any random point as x comma y comma z, and you try to formulate the equation, so this particular equation can also be given as by this determinant equation, that is x minus x1, y minus y1, and z minus z1, and the other rows are as follows: x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, and z2 minus z1, and this is as x3 minus x1, this is y3 minus y1, and this is z3 minus z1. So if I equate this to 0, if I just equate this to 0, I will obtain the same equation of this plane. नंबर 9 डिजिट का है, एक बार चेक करता हूँ, 83398275228. ओके, या करेक्ट करेक्ट, मैं गलत लिख दिया था, सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी, लास्ट में 28 होगा, ठीक है, लास्ट में 28 होगा। ये नंबर ऑलरेडी डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में भी दे रखा है, ठीक है, या फिर हमारे लाइव चैट में देखो, टॉप में एक बैनर दे रखा है, उन पे मेरा नंबर है। ओके, सो प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट ऑन दैट नंबर, ठीक है। इज दिस क्लियर? सो फॉर द टाइम बिंग प्लीज फॉलो ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक्स, जो भी मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ अभी उस पर फोकस करो, बैकलॉग के लिए बाद में हम बात करते हैं, ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर इस पे पर्टिकुलर चीज पे फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हो ना, तो आपका ये वाला पार्ट बैकलॉग बन जाएगा। ओके, so I hope this part is clear, right? So by using this determinant relation, we can come across the similar result, right? Now this result is very simple. It's again the relationship of, it is the relationship of the coplanarity condition of three vectors. So what you can see that x comma y comma z is another random point. So I can form this as r. Let us say this is my r. So this I can form with this particular vector. I can form three sets of vectors, right? AB vector, AC vector, and AR vector. Now these all vector box product or the scalar tailor product result should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0. So if I have this result to be 0, by using that particular concept, I can formulate this equation because they are coplanar. Okay. Hello sir, how are you? I'm good. सर मैं 11th का हूँ, तो इस पे फोकस करना चाहिए। देखो 11th का होगा तो भी अगर आपने 11th का कोई भी बेसिक कवर भी नहीं किया है ना, तो भी आप चीज समझ सकते हो, ठीक है। बस इसको समझने के लिए आपको बस दो कॉन्सेप्ट चाहिए, दैट इज मैट्रिक्स एंड डिटरमिनेंट खत्म होना चाहिए, राइट। अगर आप मैट्रिक्स एंड डिटरमिनेंट कर रखे हो देन डेफिनेटली ये पार्ट भी हो जाएगा। ओके, सो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव स्टडीड मैट्रिक्स एंड डिटरमिनेंट. So if you have studied matrix and determinant, everything will be clear. Okay, so please start watching from the basic. I think if you haven't covered matrix and determinant, don't worry, please wait, we will definitely going to start with matrix and determinant soon. Okay, but regarding the 11 topics, we will be starting it from the with the one shot sessions. Okay, so before that I need to cover the other parts of the class 12 syllabus as well. Okay, so after this 3D geometry, we are definitely going to start with our new topic, that is going to be probability, right? Because probability is again another very important topic, yet an basic topic, I know, but sometimes the questions are also difficult or sometimes they are basic, right? So we need to combine the chapter and need to understand that particular part. So the next chapter we're going to start with probability. Okay, because that is very important, and definitely there are going to be like one or two questions coming up from the chapter. Okay, so even if you understand the basic part, you are able to solve the question in the examination. Is this part clear? Is this part clear to all of you? Please let me know in the live chat, is this part clear or not? Okay, now let us try to understand another important results, that is how do we find out the, so similar result that we have already seen in case of straight lines, or that whenever we have a point and a straight line, we found out two things. One is the foot of perpendicular of that particular point on the straight line, and or we consider a straight line as a mirror and we try to reflect that particular point and find out the mirror image. So there are the two concepts, that is the foot of perpendicular and the mirror image. So let us try to understand those concepts. So this will fall under the category of points and planes. Okay, so this will fall under the category of points and planes. Okay, Bhavesh, please contact. Okay, so since you are already taking physics and chemistry subscription, please also take the math subscription as well. Okay, just take the math subscription also to understand your maths concept. So whatever 11 topics you are looking for, we will definitely cover the 11 topics as well. Okay, so don't worry. Please take the math subscription and we will definitely discuss about the 11 topics. Anyways, let's come back. Now, so let us try to understand that if we have a given plane equation. So again, I am taking this plane. Let us say this is my equation of plane is given as some ax plus by plus cz equals to some, or let us say plus d is equals to 0. Plus d is equals to 0. This is my equation of this plane. Okay, equation of this plane. Alright, so this is my equation of the plane. Now if I have any point, let us say that particular point is A, which is alpha comma beta comma gamma. Now if I want to find out the foot of perpendicular, of this point lying on the plane, let us consider that as point B, right? And let us consider the general point as x comma y comma z. Now, in order to find out this particular concept of foot of perpendicular, the simplest way is to find that AB as a straight line. So if we consider this AB as a straight line, right, and then I find out this point B. So let us say I can, from this particular form, I can formulate the equation of this line AB as follows. So from this I can formulate my equation of this line AB as follows: x minus alpha by A, because already I know the direction along which this line is pointed, because that will be the same direction along which the normal vector lies, right? So I can write it as A is equals to y minus beta by B is equals to, because this A, B, C are the direction ratios of my normal vector to the plane, and is equals to z minus gamma by C, which is equals to, let us consider it equals to some constant mu. So let us say we have this formulation of the line. Now any point, any general point on this line can be given as alpha plus A times of mu comma beta plus b times of mu plus gamma plus C times of mu is any point lying on the straight line, as well as this point lies on the plane, as well as this point lies on the plane. So if this particular point lies on the plane, then it will also satisfy the plane equation, right? So it will also satisfy the equation of the plane, right? So if I put that over here in this equation of the plane, then I will obtain this following results of so from here I will obtain this following equation. Now from this equation, or on solving this equation, we can find out the value of this mu. We can find out the value of this unknown constant mu. Now once we have already found out the value of the unknown constant mu, and if we substitute this point mu in this B, then I will obtain what is my coordinates of this point B. So once I solve for mu, I will get the coordinates of B, and that coordinate of B is nothing but it is the foot of the perpendicular of the point A, which is given as alpha comma beta comma gamma to this plane. Okay, to this plane. Alright, is this part clear? Now once I obtain the foot of perpendicular of any point on the plane, then I can also find out from here, from this particular formulation itself, I can also find out the the image point as well, considering the plane as my mirror. So this is my point B, which is the foot of perpendicular. So in order to find out the mirror image, let us say my C is my mirror image, which is given as alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash. So this particular distance is going to be same. So I can use the result of section formula, because I know the result of B. So I can find out that by this coordinate of B can also be given as alpha plus alpha dash by 2, comma beta plus beta dash by 2, comma gamma plus gamma dash by 2, and that is also equals to the coordinates of beta or B, right? So from this result I can find out the final result or expression for the image as well. So once I find out for the foot of perpendicular, I can easily solve for the image as well. Now if you carry out this, so if you don't want to carry out this result always, like to find out the value of mu and then you put back into this equation, so it might be a tedious process, right? So if you want to directly get the answer, so a simple way to get this answer can be also given in terms of a similar result which you have already studied in your straight lines in 2D, right? So that result you can also put it over here as x minus alpha. So that result is like x minus alpha by a is equals to y minus beta by b is equals to z minus gamma by c is equals to minus times of a alpha plus b beta plus c gamma plus of d and divided by square root of a square plus b square plus c square. So if you calculate this particular expression also, from this expression you can find out the value of x, y, z, that will be the value of the foot of perpendicular, right? So this is where you can find out the foot of perpendicular. So if you recall the result with the 2D straight line, the foot of perpendicular result was similar to this, except there was this z point was missing, right? Rather the result are pretty much similar. Now in order to find out the point for the mirror image, okay, so in order to find out the mirror image, so we just need to multiply this particular result by 2. So it will be minus, so this result will get modified, rest everything remains the same. So this result will be minus 2 times of a alpha plus b beta plus gamma c plus d divided by square root of a square plus b square plus c square, right? So if you calculate the following relation and you just instead of this minus of this relation, if you just multiply it with 2 times, then if you solve for the xyz, those xyz will be nothing but the coordinates of the mirror image. Is this part clear to all of you? Is this part clear? Is this part clear? So we will definitely jump on to solve questions on this, but before that, this particular topics or these things has to be clear. Okay. Now, based on this, we can also find out. So if we find out my point B, I can also find out this perpendicular distance. So if you carry out again with the value of mu and this put it in B, and if you carry out certain lines of algebra, which I have already done it, so you will obtain this value of this perpendicular distance. Okay. So perpendicular distance can be calculated as follows, and that particular distance will come out as mod of a alpha plus b beta plus gamma c plus d divided by square root of a square plus d square plus c square. So let us say that this particular is p. This particular length is p. Okay. This length is p because d is already existing in our plane equation. So this is let us say p distance. Okay. So the p is the perpendicular distance. So p distance or the perpendicular distance can be simply given out by this mod of this result. Okay. So if you find out the mod of this result, then you can easily solve for the value for this perpendicular distance. Is this part clear to all of you? Is this part clear? Is this part clear to all of you? Please let me know in the live chat. Is this part clear or not? So by using the same concept, I can also find out one more concept or distance, that is the distance between two parallel planes. So let us say again I have two parallel planes. Now if I have two parallel planes, the basic thing that will remain the same is the normal vector. Okay, the normal vector for the two planes are the same. So let us say this is my plane P1 and let us say this is my plane P2, and that perpendicular distance is the same, so that is D. Let us say this is capital D. So this particular distance can be obtained as, so let us say the equation uh, of this plane is given as a1 x plus b1 y plus c1 z plus of d1 is equals to 0, and the equation of plane p2 is given as a2 x plus b2 y plus c2 z plus of d2 is equals to 0. So let us say this is my equation of the second plane and this is the equation of my first plane. So this distance can be directly obtained as d2 minus d1 divided by square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, because I know that a1, b1, c1 and a2, b2, c2, these are similar, right? So a1 upon a2 will be equals to b1 upon b2 will be equals to c1 upon c2. So they will be given by some lambda. But however, that is not required. So I can just directly give only one notation. Okay, so let us give only one rotation. Okay, like this. So only thing that will differ is the constant. Okay, the only thing that will differ in the equation of the plane is the, or the parallel planes, is the constant. So what I'm discussing is the concept of parallel planes. Okay, parallel planes. Alright, so for the concept of parallel plane, in the equation formulation, the only thing that will differ in the equation is the constant value. Okay, so we will have the different value of constant in the two different equations of the planes, which denotes uh, the equation of the two parallel planes. Is this part clear? Is this part clear to all of you? I hope this part is clear. Okay, so please let me know in the live chat if you still have any questions or any queries. Now, also don't forget to put the mod over here, right? Because the distance, it cannot be negative, P2. Now I find out, first of all, this perpendicular distance of A from this plane P1 and this A satisfy the equation of P2. So if I do out this following steps of algebra, I will end up getting this particular distance. Okay, that this is the perpendicular distance between the two parallel lines. Is this part clear? Now sometimes the result of this perpendicular distance between between a point and a plane is also given in terms of vector relation as, so this can be also given as in terms of vector relation. Let us say my plane equation is given and my point A is given as a position vector. Okay, so a vector is given the position vector of a point A. So this can be given as a dot n minus the constant divided by the magnitude of this n vector and take a mod of it. So this result is also the same result as that of the perpendicular distance. So this is how we can write the result in terms of a vector form. So the perpendicular distance of a point and a plane can also be written in the following vector form. Is this part clear to all of you? Is this part clear? Is this part clear to all of you? Please let me know in the live chat, is this part clear or not? If you have any questions, any queries. Okay, so definitely this is all that we need to discuss as of the today's lecture is concerned, right? So let us try to go on to solve some questions. However, you will see that whenever you start to solve basic question, there are questions where you have to find out the angle between the two planes. Now I will quickly explain you this concept of angle between the planes and then I will conclude the session over here. So if we try to find out the angle between two planes, if I try to find out the angle between two planes, let us say I have plane 1 which is given something like this and another plane P2 which is given something like this. So this is P2 and this is my plane 1, P1. Now what will be different in these planes is that they will have different normal vector, right? They will definitely have a different normal vector. So what I'm trying to find it out. So if you look from this particular angle, so if this is your observer, so if you look from here, so this particular angle is the angle that I'm trying to find it out. So this particular 2D angle, whatever the two planes are making, that is the angle which is going to be the same throughout, right? So this angle I'm trying to find out. Okay, so I'm trying to find out the angle between the planes, saying that the angle between the planes is the angle that or any edges of these planes. So if I take up any straight line on this plane like this and this like this angle between the straight line remains the same. Okay, so the angle between the plane is defined as, can also be, now this particular angle theta can also be obtained. So if I just extrapolate this particular part, so this vector, so I should be more correct in drawing this. Okay, so it should not be like this, it should something go like this, right? So this is my n1 vector and this is my n2 vector, right? So this particular normal vectors is also having the same angle, that is theta. So whatever is the angle between the plane is the same angle that the normal vector is going to take up. So therefore, finding out the angle between the plane is equivalent to find out the angle between these two normal vectors. So this cosine of theta over here can be easily obtained as just to find out the angle between these two normal vectors. Okay, by using this particular relation, we can find out our result for the angle between the vectors. Okay, angle between the vectors, and the same angle is the angle between the two planes. So whenever we consider plane, the angle between the plane is equivalent to the angle between the two normal vectors. Is this part clear? Is this part clear to all of you? So with this part, we conclude our discussion on the basics of planes. Now in the next class, we're going to formulate the equation of how a line in a plane will behave. So that will be taken up in our next class, and with that we'll try to solve some few numerical problems to understand that particular concept. And also we'll discuss about the concept of angle bisector, right? So we'll try to talk about the interior bisector, exterior bisector, and that will be all for the concerned topic of planes as well. So with that, we will be done with our discussion on 3D geometry. So I will definitely take 2 more lectures on this 3D geometry thing, and with that we'll say end to this particular chapter, right? So we'll definitely try to conclude this particular chapter within some 8 lectures. So you can consider by tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll be finishing with the chapters of 3D geometry, and with that we'll soon start our discussion on probability. So with this particular note, thank you for your attention, and if you're in this particular platform, please like, share and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so that whenever we are live on this platform, you directly get a notification and you can study live from this particular platform anytime. Okay, so thank you and I wish you all the best.